Well, hello everyone. I am trying this live thing again because I lost the last live that I did. So I'm going to label this as a test. I probably will have to redo this one as well. So, welcome to the Real Estate Regroup Show, where I tell you about everything that I know as it pertains to real estate. So, here is one thing that, many people talk about on social media, and that is being the bank. Now, as many of you know, I also advocate being the bank, but I realize that some of those who say to be the bank are actually doing it quite differently than me. You see, you have something called infinite banking, right? Now, what I do is called mortgage note investing. So, let me tell you what the difference is between the two. Infinite banking is an insurance strategy. That is when someone takes out a IUL, whole life insurance. They then use that money, borrow against it to buy real estate. What I do is I typically go to a broker or I go directly to a note seller and I buy the mortgage note directly from that person. Those persons are a liaison between myself and the bank that they probably wholesaled that list from, or who they actually bought the list or the mortgage note from. So that is the difference between infinite banking and mortgage note investing. Because with mortgage note investing, what it is, you're actually buying the contract. All right. The next thing is that with an IUL, you have to pay into it on a monthly basis before you're even able to take any money out. And it's done for at least a year or two, right? But the way I do mortgage note investing, because I buy what is known as performing notes, I get a check placed into my bank account every month. There's really no money coming out of my pocket. Now, I do pay a servicer, but depending on what's going on with the note, I pay anywhere between $10 and $20 a month. All right? Now, the other thing is that with a mortgage note, you can't borrow against it. It's not the same. That's another difference between a mortgage note and an IUL. The next thing is that if you want money from the mortgage note, besides the monthly payments, if you want to be done with it, basically you sell it. And once you sell it, you normally get a large sum of money. With IULs, it can take 10 years to break even. With a mortgage note, you can break even within a year. As a matter of fact, you can break even within a few months. It really depends on the cost, and also as far as how much you paid for it, and then also how much you are making per month. Okay? Now, I've heard a number of people say things like they don't pay taxes on their IUL. I'm not too sure about that. There's some controversy, to be honest, with the IUL. Okay, I know I did have a whole life insurance once, and I actually had to pay taxes on it. I was not able to deduct it at all. But I did get it in my name. I did not get it in my business name. Some people will get it in their business name, and because they have it in their business name, they claim that they are. But I've heard other people say that that wasn't true. So what I say to you is, if you are going to go and get a IUL whole life cash value policy, I would definitely not only just speak to an insurance agent, but also speak to your accountant and definitely speak to your banker. They can actually recommend someone for you, and some accountants actually do sell those policies as well. But they'll definitely know which one is best for you, or whether or not you should even do it at all, because there are a lot of accountants who are not really for it at all. There are a lot of accountants that will push term life as opposed to whole life. But I don't believe you're able to borrow against term. I'm not sure. The other thing is this: when it comes to insurance, some are licensed in certain states, but they're not licensed in other states, right? So that's another thing you need to be careful of when you are choosing your insurance agent to set up the policy. Another thing I learned quite recently is that the policy, just about all the terms are negotiable, or several terms are negotiable. But for whatever reason, the first group of people that I dealt with, they did not tell me that. And when I closed that account, and I had to close it because I was running out of money, and I could not afford another bill. So when I closed that account, I didn't get any of my money back. With mortgage notes, like I said, the only way to get out of it, like completely, is if you sell it, or if the homeowner pays off their mortgage. That's really the only way to get out of it completely. So my preference, of course, is to do mortgage notes. Now, I will give you another play, though. You can, if you have the whole life IUL policy and you're able to borrow against it, let's say you see a mortgage note that you like but you can't afford it. Guess what? You can borrow against that policy and use the money to buy that mortgage note. So it goes hand in hand. And then one last thing I'd like to make note of and say to you. I have to preface this, that there are some investigations going on regarding using the term infinite banking. I understand that, or I've been alerted that the feds are not really crazy about many people on the internet using that term. They're okay when those of us who are into mortgage notes use it, when we say be the bank, but they're not really all that crazy when insurance people use it, because essentially, to be honest, you're not really being the bank. It's really just an insurance account. It's just a strategy where you can use money to purchase other things. And listen, the other thing too that many of them leave out is that that money that even though it's your money and you're borrowing against it, typically you do have to pay interest back. That interest might be less than, it may be less than what some of the banks charge. I'm not sure, because the interest rates, they always change. But it is another area where you can borrow money, and if you have it in your business name, that means that no one can trace it back to you personally. right? A lot of times when you try to borrow money from the bank, uh, even if you do it in your business name, they still want to put your name on the loan, right? And a lot of people really don't like that, okay, for security reasons, for a number of reasons. So, anyway, that's all I have to share with you guys. I hope you like my fake aquarium that I bought with my fake jellyfish. That volcano actually is a humidifier and air purifier at the same time. If this video allows me to save it, then I will put the links to where you can purchase these items. And also, you can't see it too clear here, but this is actually a water fountain. Okay, so guys, I am going to go. Hopefully you will share this out. Remember, each one, reach one, teach one. Bye for now. Until next time, have a good night.